Hey guys, it's Kat and I'm back today to do an update on my project pan. So this is my rolling project pan for 2017. Essentially what I want to do is use up $1,000 Australian dollars worth of products in this year, and I have done, I think this is the 5th update. I don't know. I do them every month to 2 months. This time it's been about 6 weeks since my last update, so there should be a bit of progress. The main reason I did hold off for 6 weeks instead of doing it for a month is because I was trying out a lot of new makeup, and so I wasn't using the products as much as I would have liked, but there is some progress and it's worth talking about. Also, probably more importantly, I have used up a couple of things, but I want to add in a few more products. So these are products that I can start probably using every day and seeing more progress on a little bit easier than some of the eyeshadows and stuff that I've added into this project pan. So let's get on to it. Alright, so I've used up 3 products in the last 6 weeks. One of them I've had in my project pan for the whole time, like this whole year. It is a bronzer by Physicians Formula. This is the Bronze Booster Light to Medium. This took me a long time to finish. When I did introduce it, it had been barely used, so that one is completely gone, and happy to see it go. I've also used up a NARS powder. This is the Soft Velvet Loose Powder in Desert. This was a really nice powder. I felt like I had to take out the sifter to use it properly, and when I did that I was able to use it up pretty quickly. I use a lot of powder. I've got oily skin, so powders are really easy for me to use up. So that's been used up. And then I used up this little eyeliner pencil. This I believe was from Models Prefer. I don't know the shade. I don't know anything about it, but it's no longer able to be sharpened, so in my opinion it is done. That one's going to be hard to tally the price because I don't actually know what type of eyeliner it was, but I'll kind of take an average or a rough kind of guess based on other Models Prefer eyeliners. And I will do a tally at the end of the price of the products that I've used up and how much I've used up in the whole project pan so far. So that's at the end. Alright, on to things that I'm starting to see a bit of progress on. I introduced last month this Revo lip balm. It's just getting a bit old and I've been using it pretty much every night before I go to bed, and I believe I used up a lot. I should have a photo on the screen of this, but you should be able to see that it's almost flat, so it is almost completely used up. That's good. I'm happy. So yeah, I do use lip balms before I go to bed, and this was easy to work into my daily routine. So that one should be done by the next check-in. Alright, my dip brow pomade that has been going since the start of this project pan. I can't wait to see it go, to be honest. I just want to use other things. I don't love it that much, but this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow Pomade. Mine's in medium brown, and you should be able to see on the screen what it was at last month. Now I'm not too sure if you can see, but it is definitely, I have kind of cleaned it up and kind of scraped it down before, but you can definitely see that the layer is quite thin. At any point I can hit pan on like this bottom half. There's a bit of a like chunk up there, but I do use this every day. I find that I can't do my full brows with it because it looks really blocky and unnatural, so I kind of do fill in the majority of it and then I use a pencil to kind of make lines at the front, but I can't wait to use this up. I like other brow pomades better, and this has just been around for a while, so this is a big achievement if I can use this up. And I think by next check-in I should have a lot of it done. It should be done within the next 2 months. An eyeshadow that I've sort of been neglecting, but because there's really not much product left in it, whenever I do use it I see a lot of progress. This is by Laura Mercier. It's a caramel eyeshadow. I don't think they have it anymore. It's a matte one, and I did repress it because it was just around the sides. And now that I've repressed it, essentially whenever I use it, you can see that I sort of use up a lot of pan. So that's what it looks like, and on the screen should be a comparison to last month. So it's a big difference, and I'm hoping that if I'm a bit more dedicated I can use this up by next update. That will be my goal. But I've been trying out I think about 4 or 5 different eyeshadow palettes in the last month, so these sort of things have taken a back burner to them. While we're there, let's just talk about other eyeshadows. I wanted to hit pan on all of these by the end of the year. I originally wanted to use it up as almost like a pan that palette, but I realized it's not going to happen. I've almost finished up the cream color to the point where it's actually hard to use, so I'd have to repress it if I wanted to continue to use it. The problem with that is it's a really odd shape and it's just a bit annoying. I've hit some major pan on those three. I'm not sure the difference from last check-in, but you can see on the screen, and I haven't yet hit pan on that. The only way I can really use that dark eyeshadow is as a dark brow powder, which I don't really like. I find it really patchy, and I find that it kind of ruins any makeup look that I create. So this one is going to be the hardest one. I'm kind of neglecting the rest. This color is better as an eyebrow product for me. So yeah, I'm finding this really hard to use, and I will probably try to use it as a liner, or mix it with a mixing medium to make it into like a cream liner or something to use it up. But as long as I hit pan on that last shade, then I'm happy, but it's going to take a lot of work. All right, and the eyeshadow quad that I wanted to use up by the end of the year, like completely use up, was this one here by Mary Kay. Hopefully you can see the progress on that. I have pretty much used up the two corner shades, sort of, almost, and I've definitely hollowed out one side of this one here, so if you can see that. Now, the biggest problem is going to be this almost, I would say, mauvey taupe sort of highlight shade. I don't wear light eyeshadows, I'm not sure if you can tell, and I have tried to use that one as a highlighter, and it comes across looking quite ashy, so that's going to be my biggest issue. Now, what I have done a couple of times is dropping stuff. I've mixed that shade with the dark shade, but I still don't like the effect, so I'm kind of forcing myself to use this, and I only use this on days where I don't really care about my makeup. Either I'm at home not doing anything, or I go to work and I don't really mind what eyeshadows I'm wearing. But yeah, it's hard to use, but I'm going to try to use that up by the end of the year. All right, the last pan sort of product that I have is a Rimmel blush. This has also been in my, oh, that lid keeps falling off. This has been in the project pan since the start of the year, so it's a lifer. It's been sticking around. So this is in the shade Pink Rose, and I think they have changed these or changed the packaging, so this sort of format isn't around anymore. This is only 4.5 grams of product, and I've literally used this most days throughout the whole year, and that's all I've hit pan on. Now, I think it is an update from last check-in, so I've hit more pan, but it is getting quite hard to use, and I think I need to use this up as soon as possible, because this does look quite cool toned on me, and when like the warmer months come around, because it's currently winter in Australia, I will stop suiting this. Like, this will start looking quite harsh on me, so I need to start really using this a lot more. I might try to repress it because it's getting harder to use just using the corners, so I might do that before next check-in, but I think there's progress, but it's a pain in the ass. All right, then we have sort of like twist up products that I've marked on paper. One that I've had the best progress on is my Kat Von D. This is the Lock-It color correcting eyeshadow primer. Now, I do wear this every day. I actually don't love this product. I think it's a little bit firm for an eyeshadow primer. It doesn't really glide on, but it makes your eyeshadow stay. It's fine. But I've got that much left. Now, I think I have made some decent progress. I did mark it on paper. So that's where I'm at with the Kat Von D primer. I've used a bit. So if you look at the stick, I might have used 1/4. So I should be using this up relatively quickly in the next couple of months. When it comes to these Tarte lip pencils, I'm not making heaps of progress. I've still got a bit to go. I just find that with this one anyway, I might wear it to work and then I kind of forget to reapply. I don't love it, so I just keep forgetting about it. This one's a bit easier to use. I've seen a bit more progress on this. It's what I'm wearing today. Once again, the problem with this one, even though it's like a tinted balm, I find that because it's so pigmented, I actually prefer the look of it when you apply a really thin layer and almost blot it. So this is not one of those ones that you can just kind of like layer and get and use a lot at a time. You really have to, I find, for the way that I like the look of it, I need to use just a small amount. So I've seen more progress on this one because I like the look of it more and I reach for it more. but I haven't seen too much progress on them. I'll show you it on the paper. All right, you can see where that one's up to. It's been in my project pan for quite some check-ins now, and it's moving at a snail's pace, unfortunately. All right, so you can see where that one was at when I first introduced it, and then 6 weeks later at this check-in, there's a bit of a, like, I've used up a bit, but not too much. I also haven't made too much progress on this guy, which is the Laura Mercier. It's a caviar stick cream eyeshadow thing. It's in copper. Now, I do use this regularly. There's not much left, but I do use this really regularly as an inner corner highlight. But because I don't use much of it, I tend to go in with like a lip brush and just put it on my inner corner, which I haven't done today. But I really like the look of it, and I do use it quite frequently, but because I use it so sparingly, it's made very little progress, which is annoying. I'm gonna have to start using this all over the lid, or like under the lower lash line in like larger amounts. But I've been using it how I like using it, but I just don't foresee myself using it up this year if I keep using it the way I'm doing. So I need to ramp it up and incorporate this a bit more, but I'll show you where it's at in the book. So it's down to there, and you can see that last month I didn't make much, well, since last check-in I didn't make much progress. I made a lot more progress the time before. So that's the difference. All right, the last couple of things that I have in my project pan that I can't really see much progress on. I should have actually been weighing these, but I didn't. It is the Lancome liner that I have been using most days, and I'm wearing it today. Doesn't sound like there's much in there, but I don't know if that means much. So I have been wearing this for the last 6 weeks quite religiously. And I think I was using it before then as well. So it's been going for a couple of months now, and I'm expecting it to die any day, but it's still going. But that's something I'm using very frequently. Then the Benefit Gimme Brow, this is the old packaging. I've been trying to use this as well. The problem with this product for me is that I have to fill in a lot of area of my brow with like the Dip Brow Pomade. So then when I go on top with something like this, it just deposits little chunks of color, and it kind of ruins the look that I've created. So I have been trying to use it. It's not my favorite thing, and I'm not getting the best results, and I'm kind of struggling with it, but I will continue to go. I'm sure there's not too much left in it. I don't know. All right, now for the products that I'm adding into this project pan. So I've got a lot of gaps here, so mainly base products. I've got no base products in here. And one thing I also want to add in, I know this is like pretty much exclusively a makeup project pan, but I find skincare quite easy to use up, so I don't introduce them into my project pans. But one thing that I'm struggling with is fragrances. I've got a big collection of fragrances, and I want to buy more, and I don't want to buy more until I use them up. So I have this rule now that I want to use up 2 before I buy another one. And this is the one I'm targeting at the moment. Now, this is the DKNY Be Delicious. I've had this one for a while, and I've also got a mini version that I keep in my handbag, so I really don't need this. So I have been using this for the past month pretty much every day. So I've used a bit of it in the last month, and it's gone down probably, I don't know, it's gone down a bit. I've noticed that it was above the halfway mark, and now it's much lower. So I will mark this, and my goal is to use this up in the next couple of months, and then I'll probably add in another one so I can really start using up some of my fragrances before they sort of go off. So adding this one in. Then I'm also adding in base products because, like I said, I don't have any in my project pan at the moment, and they're the ones that I tend to wear every day and I can use up quite quickly or see good progress on anyway. Now I'm focusing on this Revlon Color Stay Natural Makeup. My shade is Nude. It's a little bit dark for me, but I can always sort of lighten it with something else. The reason why I'm targeting this is because this is a more natural looking, slightly less matte version of the Revlon Color Stay, which I love. I buy those in backups. I really enjoy it. But because summer is going to be coming up in a few months' time and the warmer weather, I get oilier and greasier, and this, I want to use this up before summer hits, if that makes sense. So I'm targeting this one. It is up to there. I don't know if you can see the nail polish mark. It's the light blue mark. It's up to there, and I can definitely use this most days when I'm going to work. Days, even when I'm filming, I can use it because it's quite a nice long-lasting foundation. I might need to build up the coverage with a concealer, but luckily I want to add in another concealer or a concealer. This is going to be one that once again is a bit too dark for me, so I'm going to have to lighten it with something else. But I've had this for too long. I've had this, I don't even know how long I've had this. It's been a little while. It's a nice concealer. It is the Makeup Forever Full Cover. It's a waterproof one. So it's really good for me because especially if I pair this with a really a not long wearing matte foundation, I can sort of add some coverage and some longevity and waterproof element to my foundation with this concealer. Like I said, the only problem is I need to lighten it. It's a thing, but I've had this for too long and I know for a fact it's already probably gone off. So if I can use this up, I'll be happy. And I don't know where it's up to. It's used heavily, but there's still a lot of product in this. So if I had to make a guess, I would say it's probably been half used. So we'll see how we go with that. Then the last thing I'm adding in is the MAC Fix Plus. So this is a finishing spray. I really like it. I've had it for a long time, and I think because I do really like it, I've kind of just put it on a shelf and left it. But I do have some like finishing sprays and setting sprays open that I just don't use because it's not part of my daily routine. But using this up might be a good way to make it part of my daily routine, and I really do enjoy the product. So no doubt it's almost gone off by now. This has a 24-month shelf, like a lifespan after you open it, and I'm getting to the end of that, so I need to use it up. Now I've marked it here when it wasn't bubbly. I dropped it, that's why it's bubbly, but I've marked it here where it's up to, and this would be a really good opportunity to start forcing myself to use finishing sprays. Now I haven't used some today, so I love this stuff. It's so nice. So nice. And if you were wondering, I do have oily skin and I do like to have very set foundation, but what this does, it doesn't help the longevity of foundation, but it does take away some of that powderiness and that cakiness of foundation. So it adds a little bit more hydration, which I really like because I do go in with a lot of powder, and I can get that kind of cakey face look. So this is a good product for people with oily skin as well. All right, so that is my update on my project pan for 2017. I will put on the screen the amount, the dollar value of the products that I've used up this check-in. There's only 3 products, it wasn't much. There was a NARS product, so that inflated it a little bit. And then I'll also put in the total from this year's project pan. So I do want to eventually hit $1,000. I think that'd be great, but that's what we're up to. So thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next update. If you do want to check my playlist, it will be on the screen with other videos and stuff. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.